They've done a great job of rigging this. They've done a great job of rigging this league. The league, they're not even being subtle. They're not even being subtle. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
If it wasn't already clear that it's the Indiana Fever against the world this season, now we've got the receipts. Their matchup against the defending champs, the New York Liberty, had everything. Star power, high stakes, a packed house in Indy, and the intensity of a playoff game. For many, it felt like a championship preview. Two of the league's most electrifying teams clashing on a national stage. It should have been a huge moment for the WNBA. But, in typical W fashion, controversy stole the spotlight. This time, thanks to the refs.
I can't believe what I'm about to say. The Indiana Fever, with the strongest, loudest, most intimidating home court advantage in all the WNBA, just got robbed at home. I saw it with my own two eyes live on CBS.
Just like last season, fans were either confused or outright furious, screaming at their screens as missed calls and questionable fouls piled up, swinging momentum toward the reigning champs. The backlash was instant. Social media exploded with fans and analysts alike calling out the officiating for what it was, a mess.
But I will just say the lopsided officiating was absolutely insane.
But this controversy goes way beyond just a few blown whistles. Though let's be real, those calls were brutal, and we'll break them down in a second. The bigger problem? It's part of a growing trend. This started last season, got worse during preseason, and now, just a few games into the regular season, it's boiling over. Think I'm exaggerating? Just wait until you see the numbers. Because the officiating against the Fever hasn't just been bad in spots, it's been consistently lopsided. Game after game, and the stats are embarrassing for the league. Things have gotten so out of hand that even the Fever are speaking out. Head coach Stephanie White didn't bite her tongue after the Liberty matchup. She fired off a warning, no sugarcoating it. And even Caitlin Clark, who normally plays it cool, slipped in a sharp jab of her own. We're about to break down exactly what happened. But first, hit that like button if you think the refs have it out for the Fever, drop a comment if you disagree, and don't forget to subscribe.
This is another year and another case of WNBA referees dropping the ball, not making the right calls when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
What you're about to see and what's got fans, analysts, and even players fired up isn't just a bad night of officiating. This is a pattern, a long, frustrating, and at times borderline dangerous trend. And it didn't just start this season, it goes all the way back to last year. From the moment Caitlin Clark set foot on a WNBA court, it was clear she was going to be officiated differently. The physicality went up a notch, opponents were getting away with more, and the refs, they kept the whistles quiet. It started early, it happened often, and there were stretches last season where you could actually see the toll. It was clear Caitlin was getting shaken.
I feel like I'm getting hammered. I don't know. I appreciate Christy getting a tech too. I don't know.
And then came the Kennedy Carter incident, the hit that echoed across the league. Caitlin Clark was blindsided off the ball in what was clearly a frustration foul. And the referees, they ruled it a common foul, not even a flagrant. That moment was a breaking point for a lot of fans. If that didn't warrant an immediate upgrade, what would? And the worst part? The no calls didn't stop there. They followed Caitlin right into the postseason.
Like, even in the playoffs last year, do we not remember when Caitlin Clark is shooting a layup and she's in the air and Marina Mabry commits a block, a hit on the arm, a blocking foul, like a whatever hit on the arm foul, everything. She just comes late and is like, Caitlin's not getting a layup. Jumps sideways into her, takes her arms out, knocks Caitlin on the ground, and then stops because she knows she's fouled, and the referees are like, play on.
There are honestly too many missed calls to even pack into one video. You could make a whole documentary just highlighting the officiating alone. And look, nobody's asking for some kind of bubble wrap treatment here. Players are always going to come at Caitlin hard. She's Caitlin Clark, after all. Most nights, she's the best player on the floor. That spotlight brings pressure, physicality, and yeah, a target on her back. But here's the real issue: consistency. It just hasn't been there. The Fever keep ending up on the wrong side of the whistle, game after game. And preseason, that didn't bring any relief either.
It is kind of interesting that Caitlin Clark hasn't been to the free throw line at all.
Caitlin Clark wasn't getting to the line at all. 0 free throws. And it wasn't because defenders were playing her clean. She was clearly getting fouled, but the refs were just flat out ignoring it. In just the first few games, the trend was already obvious. Clark drives, takes contact, gets hit, and silence. No whistle. Eventually, the frustration caught up to her. You could see it in her posture, in the way she carried herself, and then it boiled over when she picked up a tech just for stating the obvious. And in the 3 regular season games leading up to the Liberty Showdown, the lopsided calls kept piling up. Stephanie White is going to break down the numbers shortly, and they're staggering. We're talking a clear-cut disparity. Yet, some folks brushed it off, calling it typical early season inconsistency, insisting the officiating would even out soon. But the Fever's high-stakes matchup against the Liberty, the reigning champs, was the ultimate test. And before we dive into the officiating drama, let's be honest. This was a phenomenal game. Packed with intensity, a roaring crowd, playoff caliber energy, and both squads delivering.
I mean, they have 9 baskets, and I have them unofficially with 7 right-handed layups.
Clark found a hole in the defense.
Now Caitlin's going to wait for Aaliyah Boston here.
Goes over the top, Boston, the catch fading away, goes off the glass.
Lexi Hull was electric, making impact plays all over the floor, and Aaliyah Boston showed everyone why she was the top pick in 2023. The chemistry between Caitlin and Aaliyah was undeniable. Caitlin was slicing through the defense with pinpoint passes, and Aaliyah was powering through the paint for strong finishes. They were locked in, reading each other in real time and putting serious pressure on New York's defense.
The best passing connection I can remember since John Stockton was feeding Karl Malone back in the Utah days.
And even though Caitlin didn't have one of her signature standout games by the numbers, she still gave us those flashes that remind everyone exactly why she's special. She nailed tough shots, dropped ridiculous dimes, and had a few stretches that brought the crowd to its feet. Even when she's not at her peak, she leaves her mark, and that's the difference between being a star and being a superstar. It may not have been her biggest stat night, but it was still packed with highlight moments.
No pass shot possessions for New York. Clark, step back 3. Oh, she hit it! And draws the foul! Out defending. Clark trying to create some airspace. Long 3 at the horn. Oh!
The show was on point. 2 evenly matched teams, playoff intensity, and a packed, lively crowd in Indy. This was the kind of high-profile clash the WNBA hopes for. Star power, rising drama, and a close game from start to finish. But when the final buzzer sounded, none of that took center stage. Instead, the spotlight was on the referees, sparking all the conversations afterward.
It was one of the worst referee games I've seen.
The referees for again, what, the second game in a row, I guess? Definitely for the second game of the season, the referees swallowed their freaking whistles.
The foul call disparity was obvious. The Liberty racked up 32 free throw attempts while the Fever managed only 15, more than twice as many. In a tight game, that gap isn't just noticeable, it's game-changing. It wasn't just about the numbers either. The Liberty were getting calls on light contact, while Caitlin and her teammates were body-checked without whistles. It seemed like 2 entirely different sets of rules were being applied.
The New York Liberty were at the line 32 times to the Fever's 15, and it was just so obvious. Now, I get calling fouls, I get not calling fouls, but in this instance, there were similar fouls that were not getting called on the New York Liberty that were going towards the Fever. If you're gonna call every ticky-tacky foul, okay, call it, but call it for both teams now.
But then there's Caitlin Clark, just like in the preseason and throughout last season, getting hacked with no calls and zero protection from the refs. After a while, it starts to seem intentional, like they're sending a message to the whole league. When it comes to guarding Caitlin Clark, it's open season.
They just kept shoving Caitlin. They're like, well, they can't just keep calling fouls. I'm like, they're literally just running around hacking her. The referees have made it like a point that this is how you beat the Fever. You hack them. It's not being physical, you just hack them. Because the referees are going to allow them to be hacked. Late in the game with the Fever, hack them. Not being physical, hack them. Don't go for the ball, hack them.
And if the overall officiating wasn't already bad enough, the final moments sealed the deal. Tie game, last seconds, the Fever perfectly poised to snatch a win from the reigning champs. And then the ref stepped in.
What was that play? Oh my god, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked fell on her hip. That's a hack! That's a hack! That's a hack! Oh my God, they hacked Luana Bonner and they hacked Caitlin Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.
With the game tied and the Fever aiming for the lead, Dana Bonner drove to the hoop and got absolutely crushed.
To the hip. Clark dumps it off. Bonner blocked at the top.
Here, and Caitlin.
Heavy contact, everything that should have blown the whistle, but nothing. Then came the phantom foul. Lexi Hall played perfect defense on Sabrina Ionescu without initiating contact, yet 2 free throws were given. It was a crushing blow, and the refs weren't finished. Then came the absolute worst call, the final possession.
And this is the worst one. There's 1 foul, there's 2 fouls. Then she holds her, watch this, with her shoulder and on her arm when she follows through and then fouls her for the 4th time on her arm.
With one final opportunity to tie or take the lead, Caitlin Clark was fouled repeatedly, but the refs stayed silent. Her frustration was clear, arms raised, yelling in disbelief. And the craziest part? The refs wouldn't even meet her gaze. WNBA analysts were completely stunned by what had just unfolded.
Literally, the Fever have a chance to win the game, to go up 2, they jump through her back. Caitlin Clark shooting a shot, and Natasha Howard does the dumbest thing she can possibly do by fouling Caitlin Clark on a 3-point shot, and you ignored it. And you ignored it.
There are multiple fouls on the play, multiple fouls. She hacks her across the wrist as she's reaching to try to slap the ball away, and it was just an arm hack. Just a hack. And then as Caitlin tries to go up into, she's going left, but she's trying to go up into her shooting motion, there's body foul, and then there's an arm foul.
Fans went off on the refs all over social media because this wasn't just a couple of missed calls. The game's inconsistency highlighted the ongoing anti-Caitlin and anti-Fever bias. Viewers noted Clark was getting hammered on drives with no whistles, while her opponents were handed free throws for minor contact.
The WNBA referees are getting destroyed. And I mean, they are getting crushed online. Honestly, they're getting crushed during every single game. I've seen a lot of people come out and say, the WNBA referees, is this what it's about? Because they're the worst referees in the history of any referee.
And that's the key. It's not just a one-time thing, it's a consistent pattern, backed by stats. It's gotten so bad that even Caitlin Clark and head coach Stephanie White are speaking out. Those clips are coming up shortly, but first, let's break down what fans are really focusing on. The free throw disparity.
The Indiana Fever this season have a discrepancy minus 31 when it comes to free throws. That doesn't seem right.
That's right. This season, the Fever are down by 31 free throw attempts. That's a massive gap in a league where games often come down to just a few key possessions. Being on the wrong side of a 30-plus free throw disparity isn't just a warning sign, it's a full-blown alarm. Usually, players and coaches keep quiet, try to stay neutral, and chalk it up to the game. But when you combine that kind of imbalance with all the missed calls, ignored fouls, and game-changing moments consistently going against them, someone had to speak up. And Stephanie White, she said it loud and clear. She's had enough.
It's taken 4 games for Stephanie White to say, you know what? I've had absolute enough. Game 1, okay. Game 2, okay. Game 3, all right. But today was the last straw.
Shout out to Stephanie White. The Fever coach stood up for her team. She demanded respect and she blasted the ref.
In her post-game press conference, Stephanie White didn't mince words. She directly called out the officiating, highlighting the clear disrespect that had been piling up all season long.
I thought she got fouled. You know, I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. You know, a minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing. that it doesn't go both ways, or it hasn't gone both ways.
Coaches don't take this lightly. No one wants to call out the refs. But when it's this obvious, staying silent isn't an option. You have to speak up. Send a message to the league that this kind of nonsense isn't just being seen. It won't be tolerated.
Stephanie White has lost her mind over it, and I don't blame her. I mean, at least she's standing up for the team, making it a public issue. So now the WNBA is at least on notice that everybody knows it now, that this team is not getting any calls.
But even more crucially, it shows her team she's in their corner, that she recognizes what's going on and isn't just sitting back hoping things will change on their own. She's ready to stand up for them, even if it means risking fines or sparking controversy.
So by White speaking up, not only is it a tactic to get a better whistle from the refs, but it's also a statement to say, I've got your backs to the team. And I think it needed to be said, particularly when applying it to the Indiana Fever.
In a back-and-forth game where the team made mistakes, missed chances, and didn't exactly deliver a flawless performance, but still fought with everything they had in front of their home crowd and had a real shot to win on the final possession. The officiating can be downright crushing. Moments like that hit harder because when calls go against you, despite all the effort, it doesn't just hurt. It sticks with you. That's why Stephanie White stepping up matters so much. It sends a clear message to the locker room that she's watching, not ignoring it, and willing to speak out even if it comes at a cost. That kind of leadership builds trust, especially for a new team still finding its rhythm. As for Caitlin, she was the one fouled on that last play. No whistle, no help. Everyone wanted to know how she felt, and while she didn't openly blame the refs, her frustration was clear. Sometimes, what's left unsaid speaks volumes.
Yeah, I did. Not my best shooting night. I could take care of the ball a little bit better. Had some tough ones. Ones where my arm was getting grabbed, but whatever. But yeah, just keep at it there, keep shooting it.
And then there was Aaliyah Boston, who went with the classic no-comment approach, staying calm and professional. But honestly, her silence spoke volumes all on its own.
Physical into the game, I don't word this the right way. How do you accept officiating without letting it, I guess, affect how you go about and execute the rest of the game?
Yeah, when it comes to accepting, it's like we don't really have a choice because they're going to call what they want to call. And so for us, I mean, even for me, I miss some of those easy around the rim. I think for me, I have to put them in the rim for just post talk. And we just have to finish through contact. If we don't get it, we don't get it, but we have to give ourselves the best opportunity to get that basket.
What's even worse than how the officiating affected this game's outcome is that it's a recurring issue, and it's making the league look bad. This isn't just a single missed call in crunch time. It's a pattern, a trend playing out in front of millions of new viewers. Caitlin Clark has attracted an entirely new audience. Fans who might be new to the WNBA, but are definitely not new to basketball. They know the game, they recognize what a foul should look like, and they can spot when a whistle is fair or completely off. Most importantly, they're watching every night, every play. So when they see one team consistently getting favorable calls while another can't seem to get a break, they're not confused. They're frustrated. And it's not just about Caitlin Clark or the Fever. The frustration is spreading across the entire league.
BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys. Very important questions.
This isn't some rookie reaction. This is a WNBA veteran who's seen it all, and even she's had enough. Right now, the league is trying to convert Caitlin Clark's fans into full-time WNBA supporters, but instead of seizing the moment, they're shooting themselves in the foot. The officiating has been sloppy, inconsistent, and at times, downright embarrassing. Layer that on top of viral lowlight reels, like Angel Reese grabbing 5 rebounds off her own missed shots in under 20 seconds, and it sends the worst possible message. This isn't just bad basketball, it's a branding disaster. You can't promote star players who are either getting hacked with no calls or playing worse than your little brother shooting hoops on a driveway plastic hoop. More eyes are watching now than ever before, and every missed call, every blown assignment, every biased whistle plays out live in front of millions. This isn't the time for unforced errors. It definitely isn't the time for favoritism. It's getting ugly. The Fever, they've had enough. Their coach has spoken, the players are feeling it, and the fans are furious. The big question, will the league step up before it's too late? Because they've got the moment, they've got the audience. But if they don't get it together fast, they're going to lose both. If you're still here, drop a GOAT in the comments, because that's exactly what you are for sticking with me. Catch you next time.